Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our first guest is a prolific author of nearly 30 legal thrillers. His latest novel, An Insignificant Case, follows a third-rate lawyer whose minor theft becomes a double homicide. We welcome back Portland author Phillip Margolin. Good to see you again.
So I feel like I have to pay rent here.
I know, you come here so often. It's so funny. I don't know how you write so many, but are you just inspired every day? Is there something you read a newspaper article or see a story?
Yeah, fortunately I only have to think of one idea a year, so that's good.
That's true, one book a year, yeah.
What I do is I have idea files, and they're like big.
Yeah.
And so whenever I come across a article in a newspaper or a law journal or something, I cut it out and I stick it in. Then when I finish a book, I go back and look through all these thousands of pages.
Right.
This book was inspired by a very insignificant case that I handled. I had a 25-year career as a criminal defense lawyer. And my first year in practice, I had this really minor case with this wacky artist who sold a painting to a restaurant and then got mad at him and broke in and stole it back. And so that was.
So that's Charlie Webb, essentially, right?
Well, that's Guido.
Oh, right. Okay,
Lawrence
so
Weiss.
He's the client.
Yeah, Lawrence Weiss is this math genius who has a nervous breakdown, and he thinks that he's Guido Sabatini, a reincarnation of a Renaissance painter who studied with Michelangelo, and he's actually really good.
Yeah.
But if he sells a painting to a restaurant and doesn't like where they hang it, he breaks in and steals it back.
Yeah.
And in this case, he not only steals the painting, but a flash drive, and the contents could put a lot of Portland and Oregon businessmen and politicians in prison.
Oh, wow.
So everyone's trying to get the flash drive.
Yeah.
And Charlie Webb, who's the main character, is a sort of third-rate lawyer. He didn't get into a decent law school. No one wanted to hire him.
Let me guess, you knew some people like that.
Yeah. But what happens is he has to hang out a shingle, and he gets court appointments, and he's appointed to represent Guido.
Yeah.
And thinks it's going to be, like settled in 5 minutes. And the next thing, there's a double homicide, and he's handling a death penalty case, and he's never done anything more serious than a bar brawl.
Right.
So.
Oh, wow. And it's set in Portland, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you use some of the places around Portland in the book, too? Yeah.
What's really made me furious is most of my trial scenes were always in the old Multnomah County Courthouse.
Right.
And they changed it, so I actually had to figure out how the new, what the new courthouse looks like, and so that required research. So,
undoing all that.
Yeah, I used to just copy the descriptions from my old books, and now I have to do new
stuff.
stuff.
Now you can't do that. I just don't know how you come up with all these. Okay, now, I know one time, which I still appreciate, you used my name as a character in the book. Yeah. It was great. She was the Portland matriarch. I love that. But how do you come up with the names in general?
Well, that's my dirty secret. I'm horrible with names. So what I used to do when we had the yellow pages is I'd stick my finger in one place for a first name and stick it in the other place
for another.
Yeah. And I was a competitive chess player, so I used to get chess life, and I'd use for foreign names. I'd always use chess masters first and last name.
Oh, that's funny. So now what do you do though? Now that we don't have the yellow pages anymore.
I don't know. It's really hard. I'll go in the newspaper or something. It's just.
Well,
I'm really
you
lousy.
must have friends that you name characters after.
Sometimes
too.
I actually have gotten lobbied. I was arguing a case at the Oregon Court of Appeals, and one of the other lawyers came up and said, "You used some friends of mine names. Why didn't you ever use mine?" So
I think that's what I said to you too. You can use my name. Yeah.
So I went home and I made the person a detective.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so you must have serious fans of yours. Do they give you input into, hey, how about this idea for your next novel?
Yeah, that does happen. But I'm usually, like, I have a contract, so I'm working on my 29th book is in New York. My 30th is the one I'm working on now. So I'm like 2 years ahead.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to take other people's ideas.
But I mean, if they give it to you, I
don't want to do it. I did collaborate on one book and it didn't really work out very well. So So I stay clear of other, but I always encourage the person, you know, I had no writing. I had 1 C+ in creative writing in college.
You taught yourself.
Yeah. So I would say, just write the book yourself.
Right.
You know, I had no idea that I could write a book. I just thought it'd be fun to try.
Yeah.
And so I always tell them, if you got this idea, why give it to me? You know,
Right.
you should do it. Have the fun that I have.
We should mention this is a standalone. You
Yeah.
have a series of the Robin Lockwood, right?
Yeah, I have 3 series. I have 3 series. Amanda Jaffe, I have 5 books in that, and 4 in Dana Cutler, and 7 in the Robin Lockwood.
Right.
But I had done 7 straight Robin Lockwoods, and I thought it'd be fun to take a break
Yeah, and do something
do
different.
a standalone. Yeah.
We want to tell everyone you have a couple book events going on. So you've got one Thursday at 7 at Powell's Books at Cedar Hills Crossing. And then Sunday at 2 p.m. you're at Barnes & Noble, Clackamas Town Center. The name of the book again is An Insignificant Case. Phillip Margolin, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you again.
Well, don't I stay here?
Yeah, you stay here.
All
We
day?
have a cot in the back for you. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away. So good to see you.